Hello and welcome to the Gallant Few, the Gallus Two. And again, with me is my good friend, Mr. David Pollock. David, how are you this morning? This morning? This evening, actually.
It's evening here, David. I don't know what you are, but this evening I'm fine. I'm obviously processing the catastrophe that was Sunday at Rugby Park. Christ, maybe we should have played them at Rugby. But we've got obviously got a few issues with our club, and we've got we're into the Europa League on Thursday, St Mirren next week, Aberdeen, then a semi-final. Big games are coming up. We have to improve. In a nutshell, we have to improve.
That's 100% true, Dave. And of course, in October, November, you're going to see the best of us.
That's very concerning if that's the best of us.
Yeah. So, before we how's the weather been? We always start with the weather, Dave. How's the weather been at your neck of the woods?
It actually quite a nice day today after we had I don't know, hurricane something or other, or storm something that was I don't know what name it, what it was called, but we had a wee touch of that on Sunday. But today was Monday and Tuesday better. So, but today was quite a nice day. Yeah,
Saturday was Storm Ashley. I thought that was very appropriate, to be honest with you. For Rangers, it sounded the game went like a lot of blooming problems that Ashley have brought in.
It was Mike Ashley.
Yeah. Well, that's hopefully we don't hear that storm again. Anyway, we had a nice day today, Dave. Really, I think the most of Holland had sun, but this part of it we had a wee bit of cloud as well. There was quite a lot of cloud as well, but I think the most of Holland was in sunshine. But I had to go to the dentist tonight just before tea time, and the guy. I've been having trouble with toothache the last couple of weeks, and he just wanted to do a checkup today, but it was still a wee bit hurting me a wee bit when I took something cold, you know. So gets to lay down on the bench there, and he looks and he says, "Oh yeah," says, "I see something." He starts pulling it all away, and then he gets that air gun, you know, and he pulls it, and really, I nearly jumped out the stool in pain, and I thought, this is Dr. Mengele's son. So this is I'm waiting for him to say, "Well, ways of making you talk," you know.
The boys from Brazil, Dave. You remember that scene? That Al Pacino and Florence Olivier tied up with a chair, drilling through his teeth.
Yeah. It was woman sore anyway. So anyway, we got it 6
I'd rather be tied to that dentist chair than bloody watch Rangers like that on Sunday, I'll tell you.
It was good just as sore, Dave. That's the thing. Just like get into it, Dave. We started off with Butland, Tavernier, Suter, Proper, and Yefty. And then it was Connor Barron and Diamande, and then Lawrence, I think you could say, was in the midfield as well. Out on the right was Cherny, and in the left was I can never come up with his name. Yeah,
by Rami or by Rami?
By Rami, yeah. And
just call them by their number, Dave. Useless number 14, Buzz Rami. Useless number 18, Cherny.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think Bajrami was totally useless. I think he was probably one that tried. And if Dessers had sent him through on his own, Dave, then it might have been a different story, you know. But I've been on with Jack Smith the whole week on the morning news, and he says Dessers is just the worst player I've ever seen in my life. I don't know whether that's true, but he certainly had a shocker anyway at the weekend.
Well, Dave, if the Rangers number 9s, you know, because it's been iconic, you know, the number 9s Rangers have had through the years. and Cyril Dessers, he's in the relegation zone. I'm afraid he's for me. I mean, I think he's supposedly on £25,000 a week. So when you look at the comparative salaries on that pitch, when you're thinking, the salary that Jack Butland will be commanding, that our captain Tav will be commanding, there's going to be there's going to be a lot of money out there. And did we look any better? I mean, here's a question for you, right off the top of my head. Who had the best goalkeeper? Was Robbie McCrory a better goalkeeper than Jack Butland on Sunday? So,
Butland made a few mistakes.
Jack Butland when we could have had Robbie McCrory. Some of these decisions are, and we would the opportunity to sell him. So I think we need to get streetwise, Dave. In terms of cashing in. Forest apparently offered something approaching 10 million for Jack Butland, which they snatched it out their hand, to be honest. I mean, we'd a better goalkeeper. We've got a good goalkeeper on the bench in Liam Killie. So was that a priority? Should we be paying someone the salary that Jack Butland is commanding for what? What are we getting in return?
Well, he definitely made a couple of mistakes at the weekend. The goal was partly his fault. I mean, he was just stuck in no man's land, wasn't he? If you're going to come, you've got to come. There's no point in sticking.
Yeah, I think if Jack Butland had stayed on his line for that attempt by Watkins, he would have saved it with one hand. He wouldn't even, it would have been back to him. Yeah. But it did take a nick off the. But that's what deceived him, because he was so close to the two players. The nick off John Suter was what put it past him.
The ball actually sort of ran down Suter's leg, didn't it? It was a pretty funny one.
Did that not just sum up what was already, a disaster of an afternoon, and it just that the ceiling just fell in at that point? You're thinking, how can we do this to ourselves? Bordering. I mean, I know it's shambolic.
Do you think McInnes has got the sort of a know-how in to beat Rangers? Because he seems to. I think he's 7 out of 13 or something like that he's won against Rangers over the years. Obviously with Aberdeen as well. He seems to sort of know how Rangers play.
Maybe we say, Dave, we just cut straight to the chase and say maybe he's a better manager than what we've got, and has been a better manager since the last couple we've got. So I know he's not the most popular figure around Ibrox, for having apparently agreed to take the job and then changed his mind. And I don't want the job. I don't think I've ever heard the full story of what that entailed. But clearly, with far inferior set of players on paper, at least, that he seems to be able to just. I think a lot to do with the attitude of the players, Dave. And I think you kind of hinted at it, just before we came on air. Coaching. The command-up team were organised. They knew exactly what the game plan was, stuck to it, and they got the reward at the end. When they got a lucky break, but they could have scored in the first half. So was it that lucky a break? I mean, did we look like more like scoring than they did? I would have to say no. The performance on Sunday was just utter dog shit. It really was. It was. I mean, and this is Phillip Clement telling us that wait until October, November. Well, we've got a bit to find. I've suspected for a wee while, Dave, that Phillip Clement is some of the decisions that he makes, in terms of the starting 11, but also his substitutions. But I think, as I've said before, the kind of killer for me was last season's game up at Dundee, when he's telling us, we were the better team, and that, but for a wee bit luck that when they held us, it was a 0-0 draw. And I'm thinking, this guy thinks we're all stupid. and that it concerns that day. And there's been a few occasions since then when I'm not confident. I think Phillip Clement, I don't know whether he thinks he's doing the right thing by remain positive when there's not much to be positive about. I think he would be better to be honest, but maybe honesty is not a virtue for a manager these days. You have to kind of be nice to them, and even though they're absolute shite, you can't say they're shite. Say we'll learn from it, and we'll be seen to improve in the next game. But can we really see that, Dave? As I said, we've got a few big games coming up. Probably I think the watershed moment may be Aberdeen. If we lose to Aberdeen, and
we're 9 points behind,
and we're not even going to get second, then no, that's the fucking. That is just not on. That is just not on.
You see, there's a couple of points, Dave, that I want to make. First of all, I said from the time that Todd Cantwell had the problem, I really worried about Clement's man management, to be honest with you. I said I was doing another podcast for Scottish football. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the name now. Salmon or something to do with salmon. And I said on that podcast, I really doubt his man management, Clement's man management, for the simple reason he had the problem with Cantwell. Now, I really think that the players, if I look at Diamondi and how he's not improved in October, November, he's actually got worse, Dave, than he was when he came. I think a lot of players actually get worse, and I really worry about the coaching they're getting, to be honest with you. And I'm going to even go further and go back to Lammers. Now, Lammers said for a long time, I'm not a number 10. I'm a striker. Obviously, nobody listened to him because he never got one game as a striker. Now, he went over to Holland and he went to Utrecht, and there's a manager there, Ron Jans. He's a manager that I was hoping we would go for a couple. I think before Gerrard, I was hoping that we'd go for Ron Jans. He was younger then. He's well in his 60s now, but he was obviously younger then, just under 60. Still coaching, but he took Lammers aside, and he even said in his pressers, Lammers needs to learn to stop running about like an idiot, and he needs to get himself in front of the posts and then just score goals. And obviously with Utrecht, that's what he did. And you could just see over the time that Lammers was getting better. And even now, he scored the goal against Manchester United. It was a cracking goal. He just seems to have improved so much. And I don't see that improvement with this coach is bringing us in, Dave.
Yeah. Well, last season we had Dessers and Danilo and Lammers. And Lammers was third pick. And it may be the case that he's actually the best striker. So,
yeah.
Hey-ho. But you're right. I mean, see the 4-2-3-1, which Clement sticks by. Diomande used to, when Diomande first came into the team, I'm sure he played about 20 yards further up the pitch. He was shots and goal, and he scored a couple, from just outside the box. I think one was a kind of deflection, but he was having a go at it. Diamande's not within range of their goal anymore. Whatever system that, whatever his instructions from Clement are, it just doesn't seem to be the player that he certainly looked when he first appeared. But my enthusiasm for Phillip Clement started to creep in last season. It wasn't such a big issue then, but it hasn't gone away. I really just don't think the guy. I mean, you're right. I mean, in terms of the man management with Hadji and Todd Cantwell, and you could see early doors, when he took Cantwell off, in the first half, that he was obviously trying to make a statement. I'm the man. You will do as I say. I'm in charge. It's if you don't follow the instructions that I give you, you won't be in the team. So obviously, Todd has eventually reacted to that and moved away, and it's now become a bad mouth Todd Cantwell. So well, maybe we're directing our fire at the wrong target, because Todd Cantwell for me was capable, of turning a game, and I think we should have been playing to his strengths rather than trying to stifle the guy. But apparently Phillip Clement is a top coach, and I've yet to see any evidence of that, because we just look like shit. Because he's now, a dozen signings. We're in signing number 12. He's now spent the thick end of 20 million quid, and we're actually getting worse. And I know we said, we need to try and stay positive, but I think we need to stay realistic. So, what is it you want to call it? Because we're going down to Kilmarnock with a budget which is 10 times their budget, probably more than that. And I think Matty Kennedy from Kilmarnock and Danny Armstrong, I would have taken straight out of that team and put them in a Rangers jersey, because they were just the energy and the commitment that those guys. And there was one instance in the second half where Danny Armstrong put the ball into our box 3 times in the space of about 1 minute, and we just seem incapable of stopping the crosses. The ball would just get knocked out, he'd get it again, and then ping it straight back in. And I'm thinking, where are our defenders? Where are our fullbacks who are supposed to cut off these balls? 3 within 1 minute. So at that point, I'm thinking, I just put another 2 pins in my Phillip Clement doll and to see if I could, raise my spirits a wee touch. But it didn't seem to work. So
Funny enough, Dave. Tavernier, I thought, was probably the best player in Sunday. Sorry, and yeah, probably the 2 fullbacks. Shefty as well, I thought had a decent game, but the rest. How's Suter? Suter's been brilliant the last few weeks. Like, he get pushed off that ball so easily. He get manhandled off the ball, and so weak. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, we need to be a wee bit physical, Dave. And that wee bit of aggression which the opposition show, and we see it all the time. We see it up at Aberdeen, we see it at Tannadice, we see it, all the away grounds that you go to, and that's their way of equaling the ability which they see in the Rangers team. Because they see them in the tunnel. All these guys are on 5 times the salary I'm on. I'm going out, but I'm going to get in his face. And it just seems to knock us off our stride. We just don't seem to be able to cope with it. And Phillip Clement hasn't found a way. You would have to say the last few managers haven't found a way. And the point you make about Derek McInnes, he knows exactly what buttons to press. Go out there, just get right in their face, and plenty of energy, and they won't match it, and we just knock them right off their stride. And how many shots and goal did we have? How many chances did we have? Christ Almighty! You would never have guessed that the gulf and resource between those 2 sides on Sunday actually existed, because from the way that these players, the attitude of the players in going out, you would actually have thought that the Kilmarnock players were earning far more than what Rangers players are, and it's just unacceptable, Dave. It's just unacceptable.
Well, I think McCrory made a save from was it Cherny that shot? I think.
No, there was only Cyril Dessers one with his left foot, and Robin McCrory get down to his left hand person.
Okay.
This was the corner that came in, and from which Dessers hit the bar.
The bar, and then you had Igmain put the ball just past the post. I think that was about the 3 big chances that we sort of had.
Well, there's Dave. While my tongue is warm, as my mother used to say, is Kieran Dowell pinged in a lovely ball for Hamza Igaman, and as I said in the WhatsApp after the game, he had three options. He could have volleyed it into the net. He could have cut it back for James Tavernier, who would have had a tap in. But he chose the third option, which was put it past the post. And I thought, that chance, he should have popped that in. But he's another one who he's not got me off my seat quite yet. I know he's had injury issues, and we're trying to ease him in, but I haven't seen anything so far, Dave, which is getting me excited.
No, definitely. I don't know if many strikers would have passed the ball. To be honest with you, I think every striker in the world would have had taken the shot. But obviously, I think it was unlucky. He actually took it quite well, but unfortunately passed the post. Proper Dave. No, he get taken off. He's probably injured. He's going to probably. I haven't heard anything, but probably going to be injured for a few weeks by the looks of it. Have you seen anything in him yet? That's I thought he was a good player with 20, but there's a big difference between Dutch football and Scottish football. Big difference. I don't think he's hacking it at the moment, Dave. He looks to be struggling.
I think it's just the physicality, which of the players that he's up against. I think he's just probably not used to that. So it's a wee bit more rough and ready than what he's used to. People in your face challenging you. The way that the Scottish game is played. So I would have thought that he would have, and his agent would have done their homework as to exactly what they'll be getting involved in before he made the big decision to move from one country to another. So if it's come as any surprise to him, then more fool him, because it would be the first thing you do, wouldn't you? Well, what before I uproot my family and move to this, what exactly am I getting involved in? He should have, with him and his agent, done their homework as to what was involved. And if he's done that and then he's turned up and he just hasn't been able to hack it, then that's our problem. But if he hasn't done that, understood what he was getting involved in, then you have to kind of question his judgment.
I suppose it's early days with him. Yeah, he's not played that many games. He's still. I've seen Borna Barisic was absolutely hopeless the first 6 months, wasn't he? And then after that, he came on to a game. Yeah, I must admit, I think it was Chris Boyd said at the weekend that Yefties is absolutely nowhere near Borna Barisic. Well, I think when Yefty's doing now better than Barisic did in the first 6 months he was at Ibrox, to be honest with you.
Well, possibly, Dave. I think we should kind of hold off to be marking individuals' report cards, until maybe 6 months, which is Dessers and things. We know from last year, so what you're getting from Cyril Dessers, pretty much fuck all. But some of the summer signings, I think we should be. Czerny's clearly got technical ability, so he needs help in terms of adapting to the league that he's now playing in, and how he can best use that technical ability to get at teams. So maybe they're still working that out. But with the way that they play, you'd think that what do they do in the training ground? How do they and Phillip Clement had it was audacity, stupidity, naivety to mention the pitch on Sunday. We know exactly what we're walking into. We've only been going there for years. You say, it's the pitch. Nothing to do with the pitch. Nothing to do with the pitch.
We've got these pitches at the training ground, Dave. So they should, the weeks before, they should be training on that pitch and getting used to it. It's and even then, I can imagine it sort of the first 10 minutes is maybe difficult, After that,
we should be able to take Kilmarnock down to a public park and take 4 off them. So the pitch is just an irrelevance for me. Sorry, it's just not on.
Clement says in the beginning when he first came in, we'll play them in the car park. If we need to. That's that's another statement that was sort of we can't play them in the car park anymore. We can play them in the car park. We can't play them in the blooming pitch, all weather pitch.
No, Dave, it's very concerning, you know, and we've been speaking about this, and you know, and as you said before we come on, you know, that some of the comments about being it's a moan fest and things. So, but I mean, if anyone wants to come on and I'd be quite happy to get a slot beside us and give us the happy clappy stuff, you know, and we could maybe counter that with some of your whinging. But you just call it as you see it, and you're thinking, you know, I just don't think we do ourselves some favour. This whole season's just been a clusterfuck. And we spoke about this in the summer, you know, about not getting the signings in, the Champions League qualifiers. We then shot ourselves in the foot with the Hampden fiasco, you know, the stadium not ready in time. You know, it was just one thing. We just lurched from one crisis to another. And here we are moving on to the next episode. Is Phillip Clement going to survive? You know, so that's now just a year since he's been here. And now that it's October, you know, is this not the time when we change managers? It's just about Halloween. So it's become an annual event where we realise our managers or our team's not very good. But we need to get to the bottom of why our team's not very good, because he certainly spent plenty of money. And the money, I mean, we should be giving Kilmarnock the hiding of their life. But could you see any big difference between those two sides on Sunday? Could you see? Would you have known that one side was cost, you know, probably 20 times more than the other? Would you know that? No, you wouldn't.
I mean, Chris Boyd came away with Dave that we're just not dominating games. The wages are where we should be dominating these games, but we're not. We're not. And teams are just the likes of McInnes. He came out and he said our whole plan was to get Rangers down the wings, let them cross it over, and we'll handle Dessers. It's so simple. And if you remember the game against Motherwell, was it last season? The Motherwell manager came out and did the same. He says we had three centre halves. He says they were heading the balls away all game, and the Rangers just keep going down the wings, crossing it over. He says, and we just kept heading it away. It was so simple, and that's now two managers.
Was that no David Martindale or Livingston who said that? He says we knew that they could just pump the ball in the box all day, and we'll just
yeah, I think he done that as well. But I'm pretty sure the Motherwell manager said it as well, Dave. So I think most managers are getting sort of used to it.
Yeah. Dave, we just don't. I mean, we've been speaking about this for 3 or 4 years, that we just don't create enough chances. We're not creative enough. We just don't. We don't, and we're not clinical enough. You look at the chances. I mean, we got away with it in Malmo, but the chances that we missed, you know, and the chances that we've continually missed, and you know,
see the big difference. See the big difference. I think is if I was watching the Aberdeen game and Celtic the weekend. Celtic and Aberdeen it was, and normally I stop watching when it's 2-0, but for some reason I thought if Aberdeen get the next goal, then it might change. So hey ho, it did. But just see the intensity of that game, Dave. The movement in that game from both teams. It's just 100 miles away from that pass, slow, quick, slow, backwards, slow. It's just a million miles away from it. I mean, I said Rangers will beat Aberdeen by 20 points this season. I'm starting to get a wee bit frightened of my statement, to be honest with you.
Well, it'll be some achievement now. But, Dave, it comes from the coaching, comes from the training ground. So the way we play is not an accident. It's because it's the way we play is what Phillip Clement has told them to do. Because Phillip Clement has already demonstrated what happens to players who don't follow his instructions. So he really has got nowhere to hide here. And I don't have much sympathy for him, to be honest, because the results will speak for themselves. Our performances, the game against Hibs at Ibrox, we won 1-0. Dave, we were dire. We were dire. I mean, how Hibs were going up the road, they must have been crying in their beer that night that they didn't get a result because they we were hanging on. I mean, there was in that game, which is normally at games at Ibrox, you would dominate. I mean, you saw on Sunday our ability to kind of dominate a game was absolutely non-existent. Non-existent.
Yeah, that's. I've got a list here, Dave, and unfortunately, yeah, I did bring glasses with me, thankfully. This is the goals away league, Dave, and Celtic are top with 13. Aberdeen have got 7. Dundee United have got 6. Motherwell have got 6. St Johnstone have got 6. Killie have got 5. Dundee have got 5. Hearts have got 5. St Mirren have got 4. Hibs have got 3. Ross County's got 1. And lastly but not least is Rangers have got 1. Well, Rangers are actually, if you take it that the second letter of Rangers is an A, and the second letter of Ross County is an O, then actually we should be on top of Ross County. It's sad when we've got to think like that, isn't it?
It's that's a damning statistic for the team that we have and the coaching staff. It's and we're supposed to get excited about that, and the chickens will come home to roost, Dave, and we'll start on Thursday when we see the attendance for the game against FCSB, which is kind of one, I don't know. It's a Stoya Bucharest thing, isn't it? We'll get 2 Stoya Bucharest. This is one of them. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, they seem to have done okay. So I mean, but the Europa League, it's an utter distraction for us, Dave. Is anyone excited about it? I think the Rangers support are going to Ibrox these days, and the whole thing has just become an absolute chore. The team, they don't play exciting football. They don't play with any pace, energy. The whole thing is so pedestrian. We don't create that many chances, and they create the chances that we do create. We generally fluff. As you can see, we're 1 away goal in four games. That is that is absolutely. I mean, that's head in the oven stuff, isn't it?
See, another thing that gets in my chest, Dave. See, when I'm watching and we get a corner, and James Tavernier comes running up to take it, just for absolutely 2-3 years, he's been putting in the floaty balls. How many goals have we scored from these? Last year, Diamande took a couple of games. He took and they were absolutely brilliant corner kicks, causing all kinds of danger. He put them in with pace, right on top of the goalkeeper. And the other team, as I say, they were struggling all over the place with them. And then now we're back to again. James Tavernier taking them from both sides. One curls the one way, the other one curls the other way, but it's always a floaty ball.
Well,
does that get...
In Tav's defence, I mean, he did have a goal. He did have a goal for one of the corners, and he almost caught Robbie McCrory. So at the near post, but because which was a good strike. But Robbie obviously will know Tav like a a long lost brother. He'll know exactly all the tricks that he will pull. So there was no surprises there. But he went for because the wind, and Tav obviously thought, I'll have a wee pop here, but for Robbie McCrory being alert to it, the ball didn't go in, but it would have gone in had he stuck at the back post, which I think what Tav was counting on. But So, but Tav, as you said earlier, you know, he wasn't our worst player on Sunday. I thought Tav
No,
tried.
definitely. The one moment that I've thought was absolutely brilliant from Tav was that they broke away. I think it was Armstrong. I might be wrong on that, but I think it was Armstrong broke away, and Tav came right back, sprinting, and narrowed the angle that Butland had to cover. He forced the guy. He forced the guy wide, and he
Yeah.
took a shot, and Butland saved it. And that was just Tavernier. If Tavernier had went back chasing him, then he would have been alone with Butland. And now, well, I wouldn't have had too much faith in Butland stopped it. To be honest with you,
Straight in the keeper. Yeah, because he just cut off his options, so he was forced to either go round Tavernier or take a shot from distance, and he chose the shot from distance, which obviously the odds of scoring from that sort of distance are a lot longer than getting close to the goal.
yeah. No, so yeah, I mean, I really hope that Killie gets his chance in the next wee while. I really do. Um, uh, yeah, obviously you, Dave. One thing that came up today was that somebody and wrote in the, I think it was a record, and he said that Philip Douglas Park will be loving all the animosity getting thrown at Clement because he's in the shadows pulling strings and staying out the below the pulpit. What is it? The pulpit you call it, or something like that.
The parapet.
Parapet. That's the word I'm looking for, Dave. Yeah.
Mm.
That's my Dutch words coming into my head, and I can't think of the English words.
Yeah, well, that's extremely naughty of Douglas Park because you know Douglas Park's record as chairman because he never said bugger all. He just never spoke to anyone. Well, he certainly never spoke to the Rangers support. But I mean, if he's taking a delight in you know there'd been trouble with John Bennett and the directors that remain at the club, that's gosh, we've got enough trouble without turning on our own. But adding that to the mix, Christ, we need that little hole in the heat. So I'm hoping that that's not true.
Yeah, there was I don't know where I've got it here. There was a banner at the game, and it was no chairman, no CEO, no director of football, no clue, and the last one I can't remember what it was, but I think some of the fans are and only one person getting the blame sort of a thing. It was that wasn't the word, but that was the meaning of it, and that was sort of a sort of a saying that Clement is taking all the blame for even the board. Do you think that?
Well, Dave, no one's going to be volunteering to take the blame, isn't it? You know, I think an honest appraisal, and it's the director's responsibility, you know, to sort things out, to sit down, you know, in the cold light of days, what's working, what's not working, what do we need to fix? You know, obviously there'll be, which is why, you know, it's really disappointing, you know, when Dave King throws his grenades in, you know, with the current board and saying, you know, this has to change. We need this. You know, we need external investment. So these conversations, I think, would be best be held, you know, behind closed doors with people who have Rangers with the best interests at heart. I'm sure Dave King is one of them. In fact, you know, Dave King's one of them because, you know, he rescued us from the abyss. So we really need to get our sensible heads on and go long term and try and put things in place to fix the damage that's there at the moment. You're right. I mean, because the place looks like a shell at the moment. You know, we've gone through 3 chairmen. We're now heading for manager number 5 in as many years. I mean, just I don't know. They're going to have to extend the blue room to get them all on the wall. It'll be postage stamp type pictures, you know, paintings of the managers in future because you just can't fit any more on the wall. You know, it's there's plenty of stuff that needs sorted, and I'm hoping that the guys who are in the club, and John Gilligan's, one of us. He's got Rangers, he's Rangers to the core. So, and I'm sure John Gilligan's a smart enough guy, but he's only the interim chairman, but he needs to make smart decisions, get things sorted, get the right people in place, and get our club, back on its feet. Because at the moment, it's a bit of a shit show.
Yeah, that's for sure at the moment. I mean, what is it? What is it? Vacancy United or something? Somebody called us. Was but I mean, Dave, we're getting the piss taken out of us now by all the other side of the city. Even Aberdeen supporters are starting to take the piss out of us now. Kilmarnock supporters singing "Walking Away the Rangers Way." They've got a right. I mean, to do it because we are crap.
Well, to be honest, Dave, I was hoping. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I will, because it's as we said, we're going to be honest. But when I was at the Habs game, I was in the Copeland's year. Normally, my season ticket is in the club deck, but one of the boys was on holiday, so I took his seat in the Copeland rear, and it was the first day it opened when it was against Hibs. So, but see, we're beating Hibs 1-0. It's a very tight game. This could go either way. And 20 minutes to go, we're quite near the front of the Copeland rear. The Rangers fans leaving the stadium actually became an absolute fucking pain in the arse. Streaming down the stairs, and we're quite close to the exit, and just the number of people walking past, and everyone's. So you now can't see the last 10, 15 minutes of the game for the number of people who are streaming out of the ground. I'm thinking, is this Rangers? Is this it? And to be honest, Dave, it wasn't a good feeling, but we need to get our mojo back. We need our mojo, and we need to get on that training ground. I mean, if Phillip Clement is the right guy to do this, then he better get his finger out his arse, because the team we've got on the pitch at the moment, because he cannot keep hiding. He ultimately has to put up or shut up. And if results don't improve, and as you said earlier, the Aberdeen game is probably going to be the watershed moment, because if we don't take any points from that game, I think irrespective of any decision that the board make, I think the supporters will make the decision for them. They don't show up, and when they don't show up, the board are compelled to act, and we all know what that means for Phil. So he needs to. The pressure is on. There's undoubtedly huge pressure. It's going to be cranked up until he delivers, and if he doesn't deliver, it's Tata Bella.
See, one thing that I think as well, Dave, I think that Rangers should get in a team of good coaches. Whether that's the ones we've got just now, I don't know. But I think we should get in a team of coaches and tell a manager coming in, listen, if you want the job, you're working with our coaches. You're not bringing in your own team. We've got our own coaches, and they won't be leaving if you leave, because it's costing us a fortune when managers are bringing all their own background staff with them. And we ended up having to pay them all off.
No, Dave, you can't do that to a manager to come in here. And by the way,
well, Celtic do it.
This is the team that you're going to work with. No, the guy. If we want to be hold these guys accountable, they have to be. They make the decisions. So I mean, what we could do is we just have a committee. You have the board of directors pick the team as they did before. We don't need a manager. If we're going to have a team of coaches, and I think we need people who understand Scottish football. Phillip Clement from that game on Sunday, and and turned around and and mentioned the pitch, that we're going to Kilmarnock, and it's just, it is what it is, Phil. So don't give us that shit. We'll just win the game. You've got 20 times the resources they have. Get the players in, get them organised, and go win the game. So we're not listening to any of your pishy excuses.
Yeah, but Dave, Celtic done it to Postecoglou. They told him, listen, we've got a coaching staff. You come in, you work with our coaching staff. When he went away, well, he obviously went away with his own choice. But it means that at least in the coaching side of things, you've got one line, and you're not having to pay. I mean, we're going to have to pay off, even although it is that Clement's got in a contract that if he gets paid off, it'll only be 1 year's payment or something like that, which is somebody has mentioned in the thing, the radio, I believe it was. They don't. It won't be a matter of them getting paid up to 1928 up to 2028. It'll be just a year's payment or a half year's payment or a year and a half's payment. But we're going to have to pay off all these coaches as well, which I don't know what's in their contract. I don't know whether it's in the contract. If the manager goes, you go without a payment. I don't know if that's in their contract.
Well, Dave, you would have to say it would be a particularly negligent of our club and the administrators, the people who are governance of Rangers Football Club, if they haven't prepared themselves for the day when the manager doesn't deliver and they may have to get shot of him, and they've painted themselves into a corner, offering all sorts of lucrative deals where to get rid of the guys is going to cost you an arm and a leg. Having been stung by the same exercise, in the last 3 or 4 years, to do it again, surely not. Surely not.
Yeah. No, well, I hope so. I hope they don't. And yeah, I suppose you could put in a contract. You're coming with the manager. If the manager goes,
you go with him.
You go with them. Yeah. So I can imagine. I actually never thought about that until I said it there. But that's probably the way that will go. But Thursday, Dave. I mean, I don't suppose it. I mean, I can say what team will we turn out, but I think the team picks itself because I don't get any players.
Many other options. You could fiddle about with the starting 11 with the bench, and the players who emerged. Raskin, Dowell. Gosh, who else? I mean, Liam Balogun. I actually don't know if Balogun is in our European squad. Is he? He must be.
I think he is. I'm not 100% sure. I think he is.
Absolutely. I mean, because you would think
it's frightening if he's not, because it'll be King. It'll be centre half. And when was the last time he played? It's ages since he's played. I mean, that's another thing as well. Why are they not giving that boy, when we were beating Ross County 6-0, why did they not give King a run out and get him some minutes? I don't understand things like that.
Listen, Dave, what do I know about it? I mean, look at the way I dress.
Yeah, Dave.
You're right, Dave. In terms of the team on Thursday, will be you'll pair many 11 from the squad of 16 or 17 who were there on Sunday. So it's not going to be, maybe start McCausland, who didn't feature on Sunday. There might be, a couple of wee tweaks which Phillip Clement is prone to do, but we just never see much of a result from it. So I don't know. Well, it's a must-win game for us. I mean, if we've got any hopes of progressing in the Europa League, this is a result. This is a game that we need to win. But if we don't win it, we'll just convince ourselves that I'm sure we can pick up 3 points away somewhere. There'll be. But then we're going to be running into the Man Uniteds and the Tottenhams. Could you imagine what that's going to look like, Dave? Fucking hell, man.
I hope it doesn't get as bad as Liverpool anyway. That's for sure. Well, but, I mean, I think the team, Dave. Well, I don't think he'll drop Butland. I suppose the chance was that Casa come in at right back and Tavernier, but I think Clement throwing him under Casa under the bus with his statement that he was well out of position. I think that's a sign that Casa won't be coming into the team. So I think your defence will be Tavernier, Suter, Balogun. I would imagine that Proper will be injured. Balogun, and then Jefte. And then you've Jeff. What did I not say that? No. Then you've got the midfield. I suppose is whether you've got Connor Barron, Raskin, Diamande, and Lawrence. I suppose I'll be fighting for three out of the four. Who would you go for?
I would probably just go with the starting team that it would be very close to the starting team we had on Sunday. Obviously with a different attitude and a bit more energy about them.
I think Raskin deserves a start there.
We need to get away from we need to speed the whole thing up. We need to press. I mean, I'm hoping that we will have done our homework. I mean, it just beggars belief that our club will not have prepared, a brief on the team, the opposition, right? So I think Phillip Clement will have, all these coaches that he employs and the stats guys will have prepared a brief on FCSB, and the team will be set up, and the tactics that will be deployed to overcome them will reflect the opposition that we're up against. So let's see how it brings. But I mean, Dessers up front. We're relying on Cyril Dessers for goals, and it's just not going to happen.
No, well, I still think he'll get the start. I mean, we've just Main is your only other option, isn't it? And he hasn't really when he started the other week. He didn't really look that great. Funny enough, the owner of Steaua Bucharest, he turned round during the week and he said, "I'll be playing my B team." And then he came last night in or in the papers today or whenever it was, and he says, "Do you know something?" He says, "I think my B team can beat them." So
I mean, I don't know the guy, but apparently he's an absolute 24-carat headbanger. So the guy who owns FCSB, that's Steaua Bucharest 2.0. Whatever the elements. I don't know the detail of how we ended up with two Steaua Bucharest, but we did. But so
yeah.
Apparently he's quite a character. So
yeah, well, he's been blabbering his mouth, and surely, Dave, lightning can't strike twice in the same place. Surely they can't play as bad two games in a row.
Well, we'll find out on Thursday, Dave. I mean, do you know it was either buy a new settee or buy the 3-match package for the Europa League. I need a settee with a particularly high back so that I'm safe behind it. So it's been. I won't be there on Thursday. I'll just be watching it on TV. But I will be along on Sunday for the St Mirren game. So, but wishing the boys all the best, and see if our club can pull it out the fire. I mean, Phillip Clement, he needs to give them the not quite the riot act, but if he's got a big speech in him, then he needs to deliver it very, very soon, because there may not be many more opportunities for him to deliver it. As we said, Dave, I think the next 4 games we've got FCSB, St Mirren, then we've got Aberdeen, and we've got Motherwell, and within those 4 games, I think where our season will be defined.
I've got it written down here, Dave. We've got Steaua Bucharest at home, St Mirren at home, Aberdeen away, Motherwell away, Olympiacos. I think that's at home, is it? Hearts at home, and Dundee United at home. So we've got a lot of home games, but there's a few tricky ones. I mean, I think Hearts under a new manager, they held us to a draw at the first game of the season, while everybody else was pounding them. and I've got a lot of laughing. We shouldn't be laughing about this, right? But no, Hearts could be Motherwell away from home. That could be quite a tricky one as well.
It's not. That's at Hampden.
Oh, is that at Hampden? Oh, sorry.
That's a cup semi-final.
Oh, that's a cup game. Okay. I don't know. I only wrote down the fixtures. I never looked to see whether it was a cup or not. Anyway, Dave, we're in. The one question that I was going to ask you, do you not think that Raskin deserves a start? Because I think he's been the best player when he's come on the last few games.
Yeah, he's looked quite lively, and yes, yeah, maybe Raskin will get a start on Thursday. But Dave, I mean, say we'll just play the best 11. I mean, gosh, we would be here all night trying to pick the best 11 because I think it's easier to get out of the team than it is to get into
it. Yeah, well, some people are saying that Proper took the injury so they would get off the park. I don't know whether it's true or not, but
I mean, he did a Borna. That's a Borna trick. Even he would just, I went off the pitch. I'm sore. Yeah, Borna did that a couple of times.
To be fair, they said it about Matondo in the Celtic game as well, but yeah, he's obviously a long-term injury, so I don't think he was. But I was trying to think of the Celtic player, the Danish right back. When Ryan Kent came near him, he used to go wide on injured, so he would get taken off. Can you remember his name?
No, I can't. No, what was his name?
No. Big Danish boy. It doesn't matter anyway. It's not that important. Yeah, I think I'm just through. No, one more question, Dave. Ryan Kent. Should we be interested in him?
No. I think that we are forking out enough money on mediocre players. So I mean, Ryan Kent. A few years ago, Ryan Kent in the Europa League, I think we could have named our price, but then Ryan just seemed to drop off a cliff. His interest seemed to wane, and I don't know what happened. Just kind of lost interest in the but should we take him back? No, I wouldn't think so, Dave. That's very rarely does that work. Can't see it.
No, well, I used to always say that we should take players back, but I mean, I suppose there's
one of them's going to work eventually.
yeah. So one of them's got to. I'm sort of finished with what I've got. Dave, is there anything you want to get off your chest?
No, I think we need to see some results. We need to see improvements in performance, Dave. Phil will have nowhere to go. The supporters will decide his future, and it's results dependent. So over to you, Phil. Let's if you've got a big speech in you, make it on Thursday.
People are saying that I forgot what I was going to say now. People are saying that we don't even see a system that he's trying to play. Have you saw a system that he's trying to play?
Well, it's the 4-2-3-1 thing which he's wedded to, which relies on the centre forward holding up the ball until the reinforcements come in waves from the midfield. But Cyril Dessers, just doesn't do it. Just can't hold the ball up. Doesn't win the ball. Just doesn't win the ball.
No,
he just flops over. I mean, the guy just cannot do the job he's been asked to do. So, why would you persevere with that? So persevere with that system, knowing that the guy you're playing up front is incapable of what you're asking him to do. It just seems fucking nuts. But there you go. Over to you, Phil. You're the man.
Yeah, well, I suppose the days of big Tony Cholak knocking the goals in, Dave, they get pushed out the window. So And we brought in worse, to be honest with you. I think Joak would have had a lot more goals than Dessers has scored in his time.
I know.
Anyway,
I'll tell you how bad it's got, Dave. I'm even hankering after Fashion Sakala. I'm thinking of Fashion, and in his own wee imitable fashion, when he gets out in the wide and then he sees the goal and makes a beeline for it. Sometimes he looked like Kylian Mbappe, and other times he just looked like he would run straight out the stadium. But at least he was he did give us a return in terms of assists and goals scored, because but I think Cyril Dessers for 25 grand a week.
yeah, I think I heard a story that Sakala was actually pushed out the door, Dave. He didn't want to go, but he was pushed out the door. Rangers wanted the money for him. Yeah. So I think, what was it, 4 million we got from him?
Yeah.
That was one of the rumours going around. You fancy giving a prediction on a score on Thursday night?
Yeah, I'm going for an absolutely brilliant 2-0 to the Teddy Bears, because I cannot predict otherwise. So it's not really a prediction. It's probably just a wish.
That's. I mean, I can't remember what pundit said that, but I think it might have been Chris Boyd. Yeah. Rangers are not going out and saying they're actually now going out and hoping that we score. We're not going out to make ourselves score. We're just hoping that we're going to score.
It's almost an accident if we actually get the ball into the box, and because the number of chances that we made on Sunday, our attacking play, all told, was it was depressing, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, with that, I'll try and finish off with that. But I don't know when to finish off with a depressing thing, Dave. So hopefully we'll be looking at a far clearer, far different team on Thursday night, and against St Mirren next week. Hopefully at home we should be whipping a poor St Mirren team is up to just. So anyway, Dave, I'm going to finish off. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for coming on, Dave. It's been great having you again. Great talking to you.
Come on, the Rangers. Come on.
And we will see you next week. Bye for now.